Hello and welcome back to G-senjou no Maou and the probably almost last episode as I've heard in the comments. And yeah, Oh yeah, what I wanted to say, unfortunately the last couple of days I have a construction site right beneath my building, so excuses when there will be some of the noise caught into the recording, but yeah. In any case, let's continue with the probably almost final episode. Okay. Stay hydrated. We left the department store after dusk. We scrounged up for some props, and I ended up with a piece of wood. Yusami managed to get her hands on a bent iron pipe. We should blend in better with the violent mob now.
逆に警察に見つかったら撃ち殺されますね。
But if the police find us instead, they might just shoot us on sight. We walk casually along the main road. No one takes notice of us, just as we suspected. Destruction, along with other bitter fruits of violence, littered our path. Doors torn from their hinges, shards of glass from shattered windows, and corpses decorated Central Boulevard. The corpses in particular told tales of the deathly horrors of the past few hours. Beatings, shootings, you name it. Crows flocked to the ground and meandered around the disfigured heads of human beings. How did this turn out so cruel? I mean, it was cruel before and all, but it got so much worse. This is too cruel. As Yusami had predicted, the riot had started to die off a little. They must have finally gotten bored, as our way was blanketed by almost eerie silence. A single gunshot or a single scream would ring out every so often. We need to find a way out of here.
あるといいんですがね。
If there even is one. There are countless narrow alleys around here. There should be at least one opening somewhere. Yusami shook her head.
目に見えてわかるような抜けがあれば、今頃警察が突入しているでしょうね。
If there was an opening that obvious, then the police would have already charged in through it by now. I guess so.
例えば、密集し合った建物と建物のわずかな隙間はどうでしょう。
How about, say, a small gap between two nearly touching buildings? That could work. Could also check large stores like that department store ones with tons of exits. One of them might lead out of Central Boulevard.
心当たりは？
Do you have anything specific in mind? Let's see. Big buildings with exits facing out of Central Boulevard. The coffee shop, that big karaoke bar, and... As I was trying to render an image of the downtown area in my head...
Oi!
Uh-oh. Hashimoto? Of course you are in on this. Startled, I turned around. I was met by 5 boys who were clearly bad news.
やっぱり浅井と宇佐美じゃねえか。
Well, if it ain't Azai and Yusami. Shit. Among them, wearing a nasty grin, was our classmate Hashimoto. Sup, Hashimoto? How's it going? The thing you got in your hand there wouldn't happen to be a toy, would it? The object in his hand shone silver under the streetlight. I've seen that model handgun somewhere before. Oh, that's right. I remember it from the time Gonzo took me hunting in some remote mountain area. I already missed the days when he would ask me to join him for firearms training. Come to think of it, his wake is being held today. Looks like I won't be able to make it.
デートでもしてたのか？お前らも運がなかったな。
Were you guys on a date or something? Talk about bad luck. Tell me about it. Got ourselves into some deep shit. Wow, that he can put up his cool like that. The group of 5 seemed to have recognized us as prey. They slowly closed in on us.
なあ、浅井。物は相談だがよ。
Hey, Azai, I got a little offer for you. I received an unexpected proposal.
俺たちの仲間にならないか？
How would you feel about joining us? Interesting. Why?
僕たから聞いたよ。お前、ヤクザの息子なんだろ？おまけにすごいボンボンじゃねえか。そういうやつは仲間に引き入れろって言われててな。
I heard from Tokita that you were a Yakuza kid. Which is shit too. We were told to recruit people like that. I take that to mean Hashimoto's unaware of my connection to Maou. I could feel Yusami's stare. I'd say this is an offer I can't refuse. And what about Yusami?
そいつはわかんねえな。
Well, I couldn't tell you about her. He directed attention to the group of boys with a twisted smirk. Each of them held the lecherous taint in his eyes. Oh god, no.
どうすんだ？浅井。
How about it, Azai? He lifted his right hand and pointed the gun to my head. I heard the crackling sound of glass at Yusami's feet. I knew what I had to do. In your dreams, you son of a bitch! I suddenly chucked my wooden prop at Hashimoto. No escape again, BGM title. The gun went off. However, I knew something Hashimoto apparently didn't. That particular weapon isn't meant to be held in one hand. Even with 2, it's hard to aim. I doubted he'd be able to hit me even from this distance, unless he aimed at my stomach. The Wega paid off as Hashimoto's arm was wrenched by the recoil. He screamed out pathetically in pain. Wait, he's running around with a weapon he hasn't even fired once and fucks up the shot? This is way too inconvenient for the riot that is going on. I would have suspected him to kill at least a few people to get the hang of his own weapon. Yusami! I broke into a run. Yusami quickly caught on and started to chase after me. Don't let them get away! And here we go. We ran through the very core of Central Boulevard. We are in a much more dangerous situation than we were this afternoon. The number of available prey has been thinned out since then. Innumerable boys dressed similarly to Hashimoto lurked out of the darkness like rats. Kids sitting on the side of the road dressed in hip-hop fashion heard the fuss and rose to their feet. They all fired their guns off at random as they chased after us, shouting with joy. What do we do? The more we run, the more pursuers join the chase. We saw a group of buildings in Central Office ahead. Since there isn't really much entertainment in the business district, maybe there won't be as many kids there. Are you okay? She tripped over a corpse or something. I took her hand and helped her to her feet. Fucking hell! They're right on our tail now. Don't let them get away! Surround them! We were approached by uncountable footsteps and shouts. It was only a matter of time before those bloodlusting crackheads could see the whites of our eyes.
すみません。
I'm sorry! Yusami was wincing in pain. She might have hit her knee in the fall. I too was reminded of my own exhausted state. Who knows what they'll do to us once they capture us? They are filthy hyenas. Sure, they probably just kill me, but if they get their hands on Yusami... Yusami, you go off on your own! I turned back toward the angry mob without waiting for an answer. I could hear her behind me, begging me to stop. Paying no heed, I charged forward. They split up! Get him! Seems like Yusami went off without further complaint. Needless to say, I don't plan on just handing myself over. Over here, cocksuckers! I waved to lure them after me. I went into a narrow alley. I won't have to worry about being surrounded in here. If I can't take just one of them down and nab his gun, I might be able to get through this. If I can take just one of them down. Something falls down from above me. It smashes into my face and I black out for an instant. Oh no. Apparently the thing that fell down was a person. And I'm not lucky enough for it to be a corpse. It's a boy in a hoodie. He throws me to the ground as we struggle. He's carrying a knife and panting heavily. He grabs hold of my arm. Yeah! He's absurdly strong. He pins me down and mounts my stomach, and I find myself completely unable to resist. His eyes, muddied from drugs, were white in my face. The dull gleam of his knife invades my sight. God damn it! Haru! The first thing that flashed through my mind was that disgusting girl. Are you still going on about this? Are you still picturing her as a disgusting girl? Seriously? If she would be so disgusting, you wouldn't banged her 3 times already. There was a thud, and with it the boy's eyes rolled back in his head. The hand gripping the knife went lifeless. Behind the boy was someone holding a club. They were shivering, as if they regretted what they had just done. It was someone I knew well. Hey man, you sure you should be appearing in a serious scene like this? I knew it! Eiichi! You ungrateful little prick! I was scared shitless, you know that? Aizawa Eiichi helped me to my feet and immediately started to run. Oh god, no matter how much shit talked about you, you're a real bro. You are a real friend. If you risk your own life. Hurry up and hide, you idiot! Oh yeah, he was in Central Boulevard too, wasn't he? Urged on by Eiichi, I followed him through a door deep in the alley. Inside was the bar we had once visited during a pursuit of Senjou. Only one window had been cracked, and the food and liquor hadn't been rummaged through at all.
それにしても俺初めて人殴っちゃったよ。ついにやっちまったよ。これで俺も真の鬼畜もんかね。
But man, I just hit someone for the first time in my life. It's finally come to that. I think I'm a genuine evil bastard now. You really saved my ass.
マジ感謝しろ。命の恩人だぞ。
Yeah, you better be grateful. You owe me your damn life. Yeah. Anyway, you are still alive, eh?
いや俺も無我夢中でよ。何が起こってるのか分からねえし、とりあえずウサギの第6巻ってやつずっとここに隠れてたわけよ。
Yeah, man. I was fucking delirious, bro. I mean, I had like no idea what the fuck was going on, but I guess my bestial sixth sense kicked in or something. I've just been hiding here the whole time. What a lucky little bastard. Oh, hey, wait a minute. I looked around the shop. Where's Miss Noriko? Oh, you little shit. Ichi trembled.
ノリコはあいつらに捕まって
Oh god, no. Noriko. They got hold of her. And then... Oh no. No. Come on, you couldn't save her. Nah, just fucking with ya. Oh god, man. Huh?
デートの約束すっぽかしやがったからそもそも町に来てない
Oh, now I'm actually sad for him. She blew me off, bro. She was never in Central Boulevard to begin with. That would be good news in this situation. I heaved a sigh of relief. But now's not the time to be relieved. I took out my cell phone and called Yusami. But the signal must have been bad or something, as I couldn't connect.
何がどうなってんだ
What the hell is going on here anyway? I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like there's any way out.
マジかよやっぱりなそこら中で悲鳴が湧いてるしよアメリカと戦争でも始まったかと思ったぜ
Seriously, man? Fuck! I knew it! I just fucking knew it! There was screaming coming from all over the place. I thought America had declared war and bombed the harbor or something. This is no war. It's a massacre. And to make things even more fucked up, it's kids that are doing the butchering. Hospitals, police boxes, government buildings. They haven't spared anything. Everything's on fire.
まさかと思うがよこれも例の魔王とかいうやつの仕業なのか
Don't tell me this is that Maou guy's handiwork. Most likely. Come to think of it, there really is no hard evidence to support the Maou theory, but both Yusami and I are pretty much convinced it is.
お前こそ宇佐美はどうした
Well, you asked about Noriko, so now it's my turn. Where's Yusami? I don't know.
マジかよ付き合ってんだろおめえら二人して学園サボって温泉行ってるって噂だったぜ
What? Seriously? Come on, man. You're dating, aren't you? There was a rumor going school that you two were skipping to get some hot springs. Well, we weren't actually getting into hot springs, but we did hot stuff. Well, they, at the very least. We aren't dating, and what the hell? Hot springs? No, they aren't dating. They're just banging. Tokita probably just shut off her big mouth and pulled that out of her ass. Anyway, I'm going to look for Yusami. I headed for the exit.
どこ行くの
Where do you expect to find her? Well, I've got no place particular in mind.
宇佐美と携帯がつながるまで待った方がいいんじゃねえのか
Wouldn't it be better to wait until you can get in touch with her? No. She might be in a situation so precarious that she's unable to use her phone.
待てよ正気か
But wait up, man! Are you fucking crazy? Suddenly, when Eiichi went to grab for my shoulder, they were on the other side of the door. Angel of Death. I know you're in there, Azai! Shit, we've been found. They keep pounding on the door. Are there any other exits? There's one shattered window, but I don't see a back door. Pointed out the window to Eiichi.
メだ。
No good, man. He spoke in a whisper.
囲まれてる。
Oh, yes, surrounded. After a gunshot, the door was kicked open. They started pouring into the bar like a pack of zombies. Hashimoto closed in on us, his face blackened with dirt and soot.
逃げられねえよ。
End of the line! The look on that face was completely alien to the student on the basketball team that I had been familiar with.
てめえはじっくりなぶり殺してやるよ。
Oh, I'm going to have my fun with you before I torture you to death. Suddenly I felt a pressure at my back. My sight flashed for a moment. My head burned like it was on fire. My vision was soon engulfed in darkness. I thought I heard Eiichi's shrill voice, but I couldn't even lift a finger in response. Well, that got very grim very quickly. Oh hey, they reused this image. Oh no, they didn't. They changed the bushes and everything was torn up. Okay. Never mind then. I hope Kyosuke is alright. Yusami Haru was cornered over the boy who had sacrificed himself to save her. Was concerned over the boy. Oh, Kyosuke, of course. But I wouldn't say he's a boy anymore. But I even say girls to females who are over the age of 18, so She was able to escape the clutches of that angry mob thanks to him. He may put up a cold facade, but he really is a hero when backed into a corner. She wanted to contact him immediately to make sure he was safe, but for whatever reason, her calls wouldn't connect. No matter how many times she dialed his number, she never got through. In the office district, just a short walk away from Central Boulevard, there didn't seem to be many thugs hanging around. But in their place, she spotted a man in military garb carrying an automatic weapon. Perhaps he was one of those mercenaries Yuki had spoken of. Seeing as Haru had only spotted one so far, there are probably relatively few of them in this operation. However, the man she did come across did not play games. He killed indiscriminately and without pause, never bothering to give chase. After gunning someone down, he simply continued his patrol, unaffected, keeping a sharp lookout. The gears in Haru's head were ready to turn at moment's notice. Ever since that bombing at a Moscow theater, ever since the day she lost her mother, Haru's anger and hatred toward Maou never left her for a minute. The fact that Maou has posted a professional here implies that this region is more important than Central Boulevard. Next, she simply needs to understand why. As Kyosuke mentioned, Mao's objective is the release of Samijima Toshikatsu. Presumably, the main hostage is the politician Imagawa. She also knows that Sanoo Corporation employees are being held captive. The terrorists likely intend to kill them to serve as a warning to the police. Will the police really accept their demands? Police jurisdictions does not include the premature release of incarcerated convicts. However, Maou must already know this. He's not the sort of man to cause this perverse uproar without even the remotest chance of success. Then again, perhaps he's using terrorism on such an unprecedented scale in order to sway the government's decision. Naturally, the police will stand by their tenets. They will not negotiate with terrorists. So then, What could be stopping the police from charging in when there have been multiple civilian casualties already? Contributing factor number 1. The majority of the rioting mob is composed of minors. Contributing factor number 2. The police have likely not secured a satisfactory insertion point. Contribution factor number 3. Imagawa's location has not been confirmed. The first contributing factor is a perfect example of Maou's pathological caution. Though Japan does occasionally see crimes committed by minors, it's still a small fraction of the juvenile delinquency of the West. This situation, however, is severe enough to warrant calling in an assault team. To top it off, the children involved have barricaded themselves in a contained area. Needless to say, the police higher-ups who are calling the shots must be scratching their heads on this one. The second contributing factor gives birth to a number of doubts. Let us assume that each of the land routes into Central Boulevard has been barricaded. Even so, is an entirely flawless barricade even truly realizable? There must be at least one weak point in the defenses. As Maou pointed out last time, very smug at that, if one wanted to cut a swath through downtown, there are a number of available methods. Off the top of Haru's head, an armored vehicle could crash through a building, or explosives could blast through a pile of sandbags. Thus, the cause of the hesitation would ultimately have to be Mr. Imagawa. Haru herself was not very familiar with him, but he appeared to be quite the political big shot. If the police can't pin his location down exactly, then even should they secure an insertion and extraction point, he would be killed before the special assault team could reach him. And therein lies the reason for why Maou chose to create such a wide buffer of devastation around him. Even if they did manage to break through the barricade and search aimlessly for Imagawa, the police would be face to face with the lurking mobs. Naturally, their trigger fingers would be less itchy when faced with a horde of children, especially when each one would be impossible to readily identify as civilian or boogie. Just then, Haru thought she heard Kyosuke's voice. "Come on, Yusami, what are you thinking?" He's got a point, Yusami thought. Really, what was she thinking? She should be devising a plan to reunite with Kyosuke as soon as possible, maybe even escape this hell. Let's just go home and listen to some classical music. Honestly, she didn't want to listen to classical anymore. Kyosuke would no doubt ask her to play the violin again. She never imagined that he would be a fan of hers. She couldn't play the violin anymore. Not after that. This is all Mao's fault. The imaginary devil on her violin's G-string had robbed her of everything dear to her. "I'll kill you." Haru looked up at the Sanoo Corporation's headquarters. She could see a black box moving up and down through a column of windows. It was the main elevator, and it was in operation. Seeing as they had closed the fire shutters, she had assumed that the higher floors were permanently blocked off. Apparently, that assumption was incorrect. But why? Of course, the terrorists intend to relocate the hostages. The police no doubt have their sights set on the location where the man guarding Imagawa sent out the last communications. That location was the Sanoo building. Alright, I found out where they are going. Once they can confirm Imagawa's whereabouts, the police should decide to charge in. It's quite unfortunate though that Haru won't be able to kill Maou with her own hands.
これは驚いたな。
No. No fucking way. Now this is a surprise. A voice shouted out from behind her. Maou is just directly behind her. Are you serious? She hadn't even noticed him.
一体いつの間にと思っているのなら、もう少し相手を知った方がいい。
I'm sorry, it's early in the morning and I started the recording because I didn't have anything better to do and I wanted to be at least a little bit constructive? No. What's the word for it? Productable. Right. I could be way more productable, but I have currently issues that prevent me from being so. Alright then. If you are still wondering how I did that, maybe it's time you started studying your enemies. Maou looked down on her with his usual overconfidence. At his side was the Caucasian she had seen the other day, pointing a gun at her.
拠点に近づくネズミを発見し、音もなく背後から始末する。私はともかく、仲間は現役のプロフェッショナルなのだから。
Field work, Yusami. You spot a rat near your base, sneak up on it, and get rid of it. Even if I were as incapable as you must think. I am. My friends here are all experts at field work as well.
マオ、
髪の長い少女というから、もしやと思って来てみたんだが、まさか宇佐美だったとはね。
I hear tell of a long-haired girl spotted in the area, so I came here on the off chance. Lo and behold, it really is you, Yusami. He spoke happily to the man at his side. Apparently this was his way of introducing Haru.
この町でよく生きていたな。嬉しいぞ。
I'm delighted that you were able to survive among this landscape.
テロに遭うのは2回目だからな。
Well, this isn't the first time we've met doing an act of terrorism.
そういえばそうか。
Ah, I suppose that's true. He spoke like he had forgotten. Unforgivable.
それで勇者はここで何をしていたのかな。ただ逃げ回っていたわけではなさそうだね。
So, what brings the hero out to these parts? You're not just running away, are you?
もちろん、お前を殺しに来たんだ。
I came to kill you, of course.
当ててみせよ。今川の所在を探りに来た。違うかな。
Let me guess. You came here to discover Imagawa's whereabouts?
トップシークレットみたいだな。
I suppose that's top secret information.
いやはや、見上げた根性だな。
Your bravery is commendable. He shrugged his shoulder with a touch of humor. He then indicated the entrance to the Sano building behind her.
来てもらおうか。
You'll be coming with us.
何？
What? Why not just kill her now? Because he would get bored, he wants his fun, and he really wants to have an antagonist to torture. By never making it able for him to defeat him. The Maou. The man standing next to him seemed to be thinking the same thing. He sent Maou a look of protest.
すまんあら。いつもの悪い癖でな。殺しの前はどうも遊びたくない。
Sorry about this, Alan. Old habits die hard. You know that. It's immature of me, but I just can't help wanting to play with my prey a little before I kill them. She couldn't stand that arrogant composure. When he killed her mother, he left Haru alive as part of some sick game. Haru bore the insult and followed after Maou. She felt a chilly sensation against the back of her neck. Snow was trickling down from the black-suited sky. Oh, hi, Kyosuke. I was awakened by the sound of a heavy iron door closing. My head ached. After a short while, my vision came into focus.
お目覚めかい
Up yet, sweet cakes? Hashimoto wore a faint smile and cracked his fingers. I was in what seemed to be a basement. It was a square room and looked to be about 30 feet to a side. Wait, if he cracked his fingers, why don't put in an SFX that actually cracks the fingers? Would that have been so hard to cue the finger crack with the sentence itself? A stifling silence weaved together with the stagnant air of the room. There were no windows, and the only source of light was naked bulb hanging. Pardon me! But what has to get out has to get out, and if you pull it back, it will just hurt. And I know that. And the only source of light was a naked bulb hanging from the ceiling. I withstood the pain and opened my mouth. Where am I?
捕虜収容施設さ
A confinement facility. He shrugged. There were no other captives here. The only other thing I can see right now are the cigarette butts scattering the floor, and the two female corpses laying among them. Their clothes had been ripped apart, and their hollow eyes looked in my direction. Oh god. Did you do this? My pulse was pounding so hard I could hear it. It was a clear indication of my fear for what was about to happen to me.
ここはクラブの地下でな有利って聞いたことないか
We are in the basement of a club. Ever heard of Yui? It's one of the bigger clubs in the downtown area. As I recall, it's located on the outskirts of Central Boulevard. I get it. You wait here and ambush people that are looking for a way out.
ご名答1階の東側の出口はこの国の外に通じてるからな
Correct. The east exit on the first floor leads to the national border. What? Hashimoto snickered. I checked out my surrounds once more. A bottle of sake, a lighter, and an ashtray were scattered across the table near the wall. A businessman lay collapsed over it. He was dead, of course. Do you think you'll get away with all this?
許される誰に
Get away? From who exactly? The police, of course. Maybe minors. But if you go off and do something this insane, well, you know what's in store, right? Hashimoto just snickered again. The laugh contained a hint of pity, but it was easily dwarfed by the ridiculity. How are you gonna get away this time, huh? The entire area is completely surrounded by the police.
逃げねえよ
We ain't running. What?
ここは俺たちの国なんだから逃げる必要はねえんだ
I told you, this is a nation. It's our nation, so we have no reason to run. I looked up to glare at Hashimoto.
俺たちのリーダーはここら一帯に治外法権を要求しているんだ
The boss is about to demand that this area be given extraterritorial rights. Mind translating that for me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
わからねえかな封鎖状態にあるセントラル街とその上空はもう日本じゃねえってことだよ
Wow, he must be dumb as a sack of rice. Oh, you don't? It means that the currently blockade area, along with the sky above it, will no longer be part of Japan. I was at a loss for words.
警察権力の介入と日本の法律による取り締まりは受けない。まさに夢の国だろ。
Wow. Oh, he must be really sick in the head. Well, obviously, but we'll be free from police intervention and Japanese law. Truly, a country of dreams. Yeah, a country of dreams with corpses everywhere. Just about how much? Maybe 100 people living? And then you get bored of each other, start to kill each other, and then the country is dead. Great country of dreams. Ah, and I'm not even mentioning the smell after the corpse start to rot. There was no hint of lies or deception in Hashimoto's voice as he spoke with fervor. Instead, they seemed to be filled with deep faith and conviction. So basically they got very convincingly lied to. They had a twist of ecstasy in them. The result was a spitting image of some crazed cultist. Do you really believe all that shit?
じゃあ浅井はある日突然セントラル街が戦場になるなんて話をされて真に受けるか？
Fine then. Let me ask you this, Adai. If someone told you that Central Boulevard would suddenly turn into a battlefield one day, would you believe them? There was nothing I could say to that.
いいか浅井。俺の親父はよ、俺とは違ってクソ真面目に学園の教員やってたんだよ。教頭になるって結構すごいことらしいぜ。
You know something, Adai? My father is different from me. He was really serious about being a teacher. Vice principal is a pretty impressive position, I hear.
それがよ、白鳥の親父にはめられたばっかりに何もかもおかしくなっちまった。うちには毎日のようにテレビ屋が来るし、母親は実家に帰っちまうし、妹は小学校でいじめられてんだ。
I think I totally fucked up his voice. I think he's a little bit deeper than I give him. More like, but ever since Shiratori's prick of an old man set us up, everything went to hell. The media hounds us day and night. My mom went back to live with her parents. My little sister's being bullied at her elementary school. Oh, kids are cruel. I had a similar experience myself, so I could understand his grief to a certain extent.
そんな時によ、ほいっと拳銃渡されたら、つい人でも殺したくなるだろ。
If you had a gun over to a guy like me, would it really be all that strange if he finds he just might want to off somebody? However, I couldn't sympathize with his base nature. To a kid in the prime of his youth, pride is everything. Really? Not much of pride, I think. You can't let people look down on you. If someone pulls one over on you, you return the favor. If someone screws up your family, then get back at the world by screwing up everyone else's family. Maou understands that part of the human psyche rather well. Okay, but just think for a minute. There's no way you could make your own country.
作れるさ。
Oh, we will! First, what would you do about food? You may have enough for another week or so, but what then? Plus, if you break off relations with Japan, they're going to cut off electricity to the area. Not to mention the fact that your guns are going to run out of ammunition eventually. And when that happens, this little country of yours will be smashed into the dust.
魔王が何とかしてくれる。
Maou will figure something out! It's not an answer. Guys are just being used.
みんな最初はそう言うよ。でもことここに至ってそんなこと言うやつは一人もいねえ。
Everyone says that at first. But now that we've come this far, there ain't anyone saying that anymore. Well, yeah, at this point they've already committed numerous crimes and offenses. They have no choice but to trust Maou now that things have come this far. I read in a book once that corrupt religious and cult leaders attempt to mold situations in which their believers can no longer turn back. Along Central Boulevard today, anyone who wasn't contributing to the violence was immediately targeted. Thus, because of the circumstances, people had to kill others, lest they risk being killed themselves. And I'm still in shock that all this occurred amongst children. Obviously, the police are in shock too. I was overcome with a dizzy spell. The absolute cruelty of my brother's plan left me in despair.
俺を説得して助かろうたって無駄だ。
Don't bother trying to save me through persuasion or something. It won't work. Yeah, I know. We weren't even friends at school, really.
そうそう。お前の友達は今どうなってると思う？
You got that straight? Oh, speaking of which, do you know what's going on with your little friend? Ichi?
今上の階で伸びてるよ。仲間になる？とか言っといていきなり襲いかかってきやがった。見え見えだっての。マジでバカだよ。あのチビ。
He's laid out flat the floor up from this one. He said he'd join us and then suddenly attacked us. I mean, please. It was so fucking obvious that he was going to do. Fucking stupid little shrimp. Yeah, that about sums him up. My voice was so empty. I surprised even myself. So, he's still alive?
ああ。これからみんなで面白い見せ物しようって話になってんだ。
Yeah, we were talking about putting on some kind of show after this. He spoke with glee.
公開処刑ってやつ？ほら、ネットの裏サイトとかで中東の兵士が惨殺されるあれ、あるだろ？
A public execution, I guess. You ever got that website with a video of a soldier getting his head cut off in the Middle East? I'm aware of it. So, a snuff film.
今いろんな残虐シーンをよ。
Don't Google snuff films. You will regret it.
すると世界中の人間が俺たちを恐怖するってわけだ。
Well, we are uploading a lot of brutal shit to the internet right now. Everyone in the world is going to fear us. They've entirely left the realm of sanity. I steeled myself for what was to come. So, you're planning on making Eiichi the victim of whatever sick bullshit you can think up?
お前もな。
And you too. He nodded without a second of hesitation.
悪いことだってのは知ってる。でも、悪こそが人を救ってくれるってようやく理解したんだ。
We know what we are doing is bad, but I finally realized that evil is sometimes a form of salvation. Well, you and I may be small fries, but there's one thing you ought to know.
え？
The fuck? I will always be the bigger fry. You're just a tool to be manipulated by a greater evil known as Maou. You're not even trying to think for yourself. I thought back to my late father. A true villain is one that neither follows nor flatters anyone. A being of absolute solitude. I never really understood that until the last minute either. So don't go running your mouth about shit you think you've realized. Hashimoto suddenly came flying at me. The anger on his face was on a different level than before. His foot left the ground with sharp force. I tried to block with my hand, but my body wouldn't move like I wanted it to. By the time my brain had time to recognize the dull pain, I had already been knocked against the wall. I was still conscious, but I couldn't breathe. Twice saying that again? He delivered a vicious blow to my abdomen. I was unable to form words. Only a moan leaked out as I writhed in agony. Get up! I slowly tried to get up. My body felt extremely heavy. I had trouble breathing, like there was something stuck in the back of my throat. I finally managed to lift myself up by planting my hand and feet on the floor. Hashimoto took a step backwards. Fuck. I was planning on charging at him. I released my hands from the ground and managed to make it to my feet. I need to step up, move, get out of here to meet up with Yusami as soon as possible. You witch-spoiled little brat! Hashimoto pushed me down and delivered another kick to my side. Small fry, I continued jeering him. Maybe the reason he's flying off the handle so badly is because he doesn't like my face. Come on! Stand up! Oh, I'll stand up. I'll stand up as many times as it takes. But the floor around me was shaky, so I couldn't find a steady foothold. I sprawled forward on the ground, then pushed backwards against my lower body. I planted my feet on the ground, straightened out my knees, and finally rose my feet. I used both legs to support my upper body then. This time it was a punch. As my backside hit the floor once again, I stared up arrogantly at the little small fry. He was the one losing his cool. I chuckled a bit. The swaying of the floor grew more severe. My ears started to hurt from lack of oxygen. You know what? I've decided what I will do with you. I think I burn you at the stake. Hashimoto looked down at me. I meant to insult him as best as I could. Small fry! But I just ended up blurting out that pathetic line. After glaring down at me for a while, Hashimoto left. I heard the door shut, and I was left in silence. It took quite some time, but fighting against the pain and chills, I finally managed to get myself back up. After staggering to my feet, I headed for the door, muttering to myself. This is nothing. Compared to the shit Gonzo put me through, this had no chance of forcing me into submission. I grabbed the doorknob. Open! Of course there was no way it was going to open. Damn it! Yusami. Alright! And that is how I conclude this episode. I hope you enjoyed it so far. And if you did, make sure to share it with one of your friends. Maybe they can enjoy it too. And don't forget to look at some of my other stuff. I have plenty of visual novels. Well, plenty is maybe a little bit exaggerating. I think I have like 3 good ones. Multiple playthroughs of one I personally enjoyed quite a lot. And other videos that are novel-ish, but also have more gameplay in them. I mean, it's something considering. In any case, hopefully see you in the next and maybe final episode. I don't know yet. I mean, yeah. Stay tuned.